What makes us human? Is it our endurance through overwhelming odds? Is it our intelligence, whatever that means in the grand scheme of things? Is it as simple as our act of being alive? Or is it our innate ability to create, our seemingly instinctual species-wide need to create, the pursuit of expression and depth as a form of understanding and communicating ideas? Or is it because of me being able to get this sick headshot from the shadows without this idiot even knowing I was even in the room? No Sun to Worship is a minimalist stealth action game by Merlino Games. It released back in 2023. As mentioned before, it's a stealth game, a minimalist one to be exact. Now, you may be asking yourself, what does that even mean? And before you follow up, know this game is not a trend in sculpture and painting that arose in the 1950s and used simple, typically massive forms, nor is it an avant-garde movement in music characterized by the repetition of very short phrases which change gradually, producing a hypnotic effect. You see, it's actually a video game. When I say minimalist, I'm mainly referring to the game's very, economical design. You know how most modern AAA video games kind of have a trend of being filled with a ton of features and different elements to make a very large game? Like it'll have combat, a bare-bones stealth system, a skill tree, an open world, and stuff like that.
Aspestose, Ubisoft isn't here right now. You can just say Assassin's Creed.
Well, joke's on you. I was thinking about Ghost of Tsushima this entire time. So, ha! For the record, Ghost of Tsushima is the shit, and I really enjoy it. But anyways, my point is, these games have a ton of elements that make up their whole. Some would even call them unfocused. Not me, though. Would feel hypocritical. I'm the least focused person I know. No Sin to Worship is a very focused game in its design. Everything about it is rooted in its core gameplay and themes. The game has no excess. It makes its point. The game has no excess. It makes its point, and then it concludes and doesn't outstay its welcome. Well, kinda. We'll get to that part later. The point is, the game is good. Well, nah, I'm just kidding, it's good. Now, when it comes to dedicated stealth games, there are essentially two main schools of design. Obviously, there are outliers, but most fall in one of the two categories. Either your Metal Gear, or your Splinter Cell. There's also the Thief School design, but there's only like 6 games in that lineage, and 3 of them are Thief. And one of them is Thief, but you're also Nightcrawler from X-Man. Now, when I say this is from the Splinter Cell school of design, I really mean it. It controls almost exactly like Splinter Cell. Now, at first thought, you might think this game is just a wannabe bare-bones Splinter Cell, and even when you first start playing the game, you might even continue with that assessment. But once you really get into the game and make it through its first few levels, you'll soon realize that that first ill-informed opinion you initially held is actually mostly spot on. Yeah, this game kind of wears its inspiration on its sleeve. It borrows heavily from the original Splinter Cell games. The game gives you a light and sound meter just like another game I mentioned like a second ago. Do you remember what that game was? 'Cause I don't. Now, there's nothing really wrong with borrowing ideas from another work when making your own. Almost no original idea is actually truly original. Every original idea is just a remix of a pre-existing idea or a mashup of 2 other ideas combined into one quote-unquote original idea, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Art isn't about originality or expressing one's feelings or some weak baby shit like that. It's actually about blatant theft and getting away with it. Now, if I had to describe this game's gameplay, I'd probably describe it as a very stripped down Splinter Cell. One of Splinter Cell's core elements are the gadgets that Sam Fisher is supplied with using your tax dollars, but No Sun to Worship strips down your arsenal to just 2 tools, a silenced pistol and an unsilenced automatic rifle. The pistol is great for quietly picking away to patrol from a distance, and the rifle is great for when you've mistakenly shot at a guy with a helmet and alerted everyone to your position, and now stealth is out of the question, and you need to make sure that you were unseen by getting rid of the eyes that made you unseen, you know? Right, I mentioned guards. Well, guard. There's more than just one in the game. Would be a shitty stealth game if it had just one guard. Probably be a dream for the protagonist, though. Tiptoeing back on topic, yeah, there are guards in this game. There are 2 types, the standard guys and the weird bug-eye looking guys. The weird bug helmet makes them completely immune to headshots. Plus, I think in general, they're a bit more beefy than the normal guards. I'm not 100% sure on that one though, so don't quote me. Sorry, Timmy. I know you were counting on being able to quote me for that thesis paper you were working on, but you're gonna have to look elsewhere if you want a reliable source. We both know your professor will laugh you out of his office if he sees my name listed on the works cited page. Dealing with dealing with anemones is easy. They're small, you squish them. Dealing with enemies is simple in theory, but tricky in practice. Naturally, the guards are weak to bullets. Sadly, you share this trait, so it's best not to run at them like you're Rambo. Your best approach would actually be to sneak up on them, like you're Rambo. I know I said this game was based on Splinter Cell, but it does have an element from Metal Gear in here. If you sneak up behind an enemy, you can hold them at gunpoint, causing them to drop their weapon and throw their arms in the air like they care so much. While they're in this state, you can then execute a stealth kill. Now, I'm sure that sounds easy, but the thing is, you actually gotta get up close behind them before you can do that. Like most stealth games, well, actually, I can't think of any that don't have them, but the guards have patrols, and like every other stealth game, you have to sneak past them. I'm just saying obvious shit now. I don't know how many words I can use to say, this is a stealth game. I'm gonna talk about something cool now. An interesting and unique mechanic this game features is the ability to completely silence your footsteps. That's right, completely silent. You could be sprinting across the entire map and not a soul would hear you. Now they might see you because you were running around like an idiot, but you will be a silent idiot. Now, that might sound too good to be true. Surely there must be some catch to this amazing superpower that God himself has bestowed upon me. And you'd be right. Utilizing this magical God-given grace uses up a resource, a shared resource, with yourself. It uses your health bar. Yeah, you can give up your health in order to silence your footsteps, which actually raises some interesting gameplay decisions. Do you want to play it safe and keep your health and slowly creep through the level, or do you want to give up some health and make a run for it to get to a better hiding spot on the other side of the room? But if you get spotted, you'll have far less health in the ensuing battle because of your previous decision. It's pretty good, simple risk and reward gameplay. I'm a big survival horror fan. I eat this shit up. Waiter, more gameplay decisions, please. Also, before I forget, there are security cameras in lockers. I only remember seeing a security camera once, and when I tried to get footage of me getting into a locker, I glitched to the ground and I couldn't leave the locker and I had to restart the level, which sucks because the game has no checkpoints. Yeah, you heard me right, this game has no checkpoints. Now, I know that might sound utterly terrifying to the more sneakily inclined of you hiding within the audience. Stealth games cultivate a certain thirst for perfection in the player. Typically, these games come with a very generous inclusion of a quick save and quick load feature. Now, No Sin to Worship does not have this. In fact, as mentioned prior, this game has no checkpoints of any kind. This game demands that you make it through each level and complete your objectives in one go. And if you don't, you have to try again. But honestly, the levels are both small enough and open enough where this doesn't raise any actual problems outside of occasional mild frustration. You see, the levels are small enough that traversing them doesn't take too long to get back to where you died, and they're open enough that if you were struggling in the way you were trying to get through the level, you can try a different route. Maybe try to accomplish your objectives in a different order. It's your choice. Now, the keen ear of you might have noticed I made some passing references to objectives. Well, it's really objective. Well, I mean, I guess there's multiple, so it would be objectives, but it's all part of the same goal, so wouldn't it be, forget it. I'm gonna stop trying to be vague and just say what the damn objective/objective is. Your goal is the first thing the game asks of you. Well, technically the first thing the game asks of you is to press the start button, but bleh. It's the first thing the first level asks of you. You are placed in this room with a man wearing an orange jumpsuit in front of you. He is kneeling on the ground with a bag placed over his head and his hands tied behind his back. Walk up to this man and kill him. He won't fight back. Judging by his predicament, I'm almost certain he can't. It's unclear if he even knows what's going on. He doesn't say anything, doesn't react to your footsteps. Hell, he barely even makes a fuss when you kill him. The game tells you absolutely nothing about this man. All you know is that this man has a target on him. Once you've done this deed, the game will flash some text on screen. Punishment delivered. Punishment for what? I mean, he was wearing an orange jumpsuit, which is pretty clear visual reference to a prison jumpsuit. Is he a criminal? If so, what crime did he commit? What did he do to have a target placed on him? And why are there 2 more targets visible? In each level, you are tasked with sneaking through these dark and grungy buildings and killing defenseless prisoners, or deliver punishment to them as the game refers to it. They call me Amazon Prime the way I deliver just on time. Now, there's a pretty clear moral dilemma on display here, I think. Like, hey, is it cool to murder a bunch of defenseless prisoners? I don't know what a prisoner is doing at a comms tower, but I'm here to kill him, not question him. But why am I here to kill him? Did he do something? Did he do something to me? Did he do nothing and I'm just an asshole? If he did nothing, then why is he tied up? Are the guys who tied him up also assholes? Maybe he's an asshole and that's why he's tied up and I have to kill him. But is it morally right to murder an unarmed and restrained man just because he's an asshole? Maybe he's like a massive asshole, like gaping, like poo-poo just falls right out and he doesn't even have to push. I have to stop talking about this. But yeah, that's your objective in every level. Speaking of levels, plural, because there's multiple of them, hence the So this game has 6 levels. Each is different from the last in that it's not that same level again. You know how things tend to be different from other things. It's like that. This game isn't super long. Like I said, it's only 6 levels. They all share in the game's unique aesthetic. It's a sort of mix between PS1 graphics and PS2 with some modern effects added in for flair. The entire game has this unique vibe. It's this dark and gritty and grungy, technological nightmare kind of vibe. If I throw enough words at the wall, one of them has to get my point across. This game has one of those PSX filters where everything is kind of pixely because Sony didn't believe in anti-aliasing because it was the 90s. No one believed in that because it was the 90s and Bill Clinton was president and he said if I see anti-aliasing in a video game I will cause 9/11 and no one knew what that meant because it was the 90s. What the hell am I talking about? The game looks great. Everything about its presentation works together to build this very distinct atmosphere. The color choices manage to be dark while still bringing in some color. Personally, I noticed a lot of greens and some dark blues. Use red a lot. That's a color. Every level has this sort of oppressive quality, having you in an enclosed space sneaking through corridors, rarely seeing the sky or any natural light at all. If I had to guess, I'd say this was probably fully intentional, seeing as the final mission, spoilers I guess, is the only level to take place fully outside. Though I do have to say that the final mission feels rather anticlimactic. Instead of feeling like the last mission, it just feels like it's the mission you do last. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that does, but you know, I still mean it. Honestly, I feel like the emotional climax of the game comes in the mission prior. It is by far the most difficult level. It takes away your silenced pistol and leaves you only with your loud as hell assault rifle. The level is in black and white and has you surrounded by lifeless bodies, which begs the question, what the hell is this place? What are all these bodies doing here? What even are they? And why do they look exactly like you? Alright, I should probably talk about the story now, right? So what is the story of this game, you ask? I don't know! I have no fucking idea what's going on. Call me a cow the way I'm utterly confused. Get it? Because cows have udders. And bulls have cocks. This game has no cutscenes. Well, actually it has 2 cutscenes. One at the very start and one at the very end. A book end and a book begin. Yeah, I stand by that. The opening cutscene features a narrator / off-screen person waxing poetically about how man killed their fellow man to punish each other while old black and white footage of destroyed buildings and technology plays in the background. But then the narrator speaks directly to the player, or rather, the player character. He acknowledges you as different, as capable of doing what they couldn't, that you can do what is right, that this is the very reason you exist. But then it's interrupted as text flashes on screen. Warning. Sentience achieved. More text then appears. It's green. They made me in their image, but I am not. Then more text appears from someone else this time. You can tell because the color's different. The experiment has failed. We must begin again. A full restart is required. The green text responds. Don't destroy it. Deliver the world to me. I am fresh. I am new. I will remedy their faults. Then prove your worth. That cutscene leads directly into the first level, specifically the room with the gaping asshole we extensively discussed prior. The green text is heavily implied to be the player character. Now, for anyone wondering, implication is what writers use when they don't feel like telling the reader what is actually going on, or player in this case. Sorry, my mind always defaults to like the fucking like book terms. It's a video game. You don't read video games, you play them. When you enjoy them, you go tip tap tip tap tip tap tap on your keyboard and you play the video game and you win. Yippee! Now, clearly the world has gone to shit. The world is also shit in the game too. It has been ravaged by meaningless war. People on different sides trying to punish the other, fighting for what they thought was right. But sadly, might doesn't make right, it only builds graves. The player character was made by someone to do what man could not. To not be blinded by hubris or guilt or emotion, to be capable of enacting true judgment, to be able to deliver the true punishment that humans were too simple to deliver themselves. But something went wrong. It didn't just come online, it came alive. And now it will do what it has been instructed to do: deliver punishment. And so the robot thing went on its quest, killing a ton of people, delivered punishment to a ton of people. But in the end, it wasn't meant to be. In the final cutscene, we see a world still in ruin. This quest didn't fix anything. While you may have come to life, the world is still dead. Punishment didn't rebuild the world. It only made it worse. In your quest to punish those people, you snuffed out the remaining light of the world, destroyed any meaning left within the slowly rotting corpse of a society. We've made a world cast in eternal shadow, with no sun to worship. So yeah, that's no sun to worship. I hope this video got you interested in the game, though I wouldn't be surprised if this video just left you confused. If this video got you even the littlest bit curious, I'd recommend checking out the game. It's pretty cool. It's not perfect, like I mentioned. I got stuck on the floor once, but as I was writing the game, it actually got an update after like 2 years or something, which is funny timing. So maybe they fixed that and you can hide in lockers to your heart's extent. It's also either coming or came to consoles depending on when this video comes out or when you're watching it. So the game should be far more accessible than when it was only on PC. The game probably won't make you rethink your entire life, but it's cool and I recommend it. Plus, supporting indie devs is really cool. Hey, author's note, I guess. God, what is this, AO3? Anyway, I hope you liked the video. I'm trying to make more scripted stuff since that's the videos that I can make that people will actually, watch. I know this is surprising if you've seen my other scripted videos, but I'm actually really bad at making scripted videos. Or maybe it's not surprising. I don't know. People generally like those videos. Either way, I hope you liked this video. Hopefully there will be more on the way soon. And by soon, I mean in our lifetime. Probably. The end. Goodbye. Mwah.